in this video, what we're going to basically do is to create a simple GUI calculator. I know we did something similar to that of our previous video, but in this video, we're going to just do the same thing. But since what we did here was actually just to redo what we actually do, so I want it to be in a separate folder, in a separate file, that so we can know what we're doing. We're going to copy some of this things that we have written here. So just going to be similar. If you have been following my series, this should be hard for you to understand. It just let me copy it and paste it, and I'll explain. I created a new file where I can paste this, and then we're going to look at the output. And so I pasted this, so I'll be working on this particular file. Actually happening here from Tkinter, we imported everything from that of Tkinter, so we don't need to deliberately call Tkinter dot to call this method with classes. So here we initialize the main application, and here we give it title, which we set the size the way we want it, and then we'll configure the background. Let's say we want to change this to blue. There's no calculator that has a blue background, but I just want it to be like this. And then on top of it, I say calculator. Can give it calculator. Let me just call it basic calculator. Basic calculator. So that's going to be the text that's going to appear fully on that of our DC. And on top of our let's say on top of our application. For this thing to actually run, we need to execute or what is called run the main loop for this thing to run. So what we can do here is to come here and say main. So I've explained all but they're going to be main dot. This main dot main loop, this main is talking about this initialization of the application that we did here, and this main loop is going to run the main loop for us to get it on the screen. So when I run this, a kind of application with a blue background. So why is it taking so much? I can see on top of it we have basic calculator. You can see though specify it to be in color 3, is still not displaying much. So if we can tend to push this a little bit by just maybe we can say /t here, which stands for tab. We can also say /t to push it a little bit to the data of the right side. You can see it gets to this on the right side, but the problem right now is that they tend to have this white, can I say white extra thing that comes with it too. So, but this with this is not really bad for us to do it in this way. So since we're not doing anything commercial, I just want to understand what we're actually doing here. So the next we want to do, I'm going to copy some things from here, so I don't need to start from beginning again. So I'm going to copy this of our entry and this of our button. So let me just copy it. So then I'm going to remove some things there. So in this my scenario, I know this button it should be out. So what is actually happening here? We created you can say a variable that is going to hold this class that is inside of this Tkinter module, and then it's going what this basically does is to collect inputs from us, and then we put this input what we set it to be. We set it to entry to be in a particular row and column. I'll set it to be in row 1 and that of row 3. But there's also something I want us to do, because if we want to run this right now, let me run this. You can see it tends to be in this way, which is not really bad in our case. So we can enter input here and enter button here. But I want to change the title of this button to calculate, and here I'm going to make a kind of a text that's being by the left hand side before this entry to maybe have something like enter expression. So I can remove this. So what we want to do first is to change this to calculate. So that is the first thing. And second thing, I'm going to make this expression. Since this entry dot, when I graded it on the application, it was on row 1 and column 3. So the label that we're going to create now should be on what? On row 1 and maybe column 2 before that of column 3. No column is always like this. So 1, 2, 3, 2 comes before that of 3. So let me just copy this guy right there, the label here, and then I'm going to put it here. The text now is now going to be can maybe just put enter here. So instead of you're going to still be on that of row 1, this is one of the advantages of grid. You can specifically set it to a particular row and column you want, and I want it to be in column 2. So let's run it and see what I mean. You can see I get something like this. It's now on although they're in the same, you can see they're here, they're in the same row. This entry, you can see it tends to be in the similar way, but we can also try to adjust this guy too, because right now it's not really merging together. But for us to make use of this, we're going to make use of place to actually adjust this of our entry. But since we have been making use of grid, it's going to run us into a particular program. So what we can actually do here is to change this to maybe to color 2 to change this up our entry to be in the same but it's still going to give us a little bit of room. But let's see. Let's just do try, and you can see the enter tend to overlap it. So but let's just make here to be 2 and that of label to be colon 1. So let's run it again. You can see they tend to join a little bit together. Advantages of when it comes to this one Tkinter, at times it just tend to misbehave anyway it feel like. You can see even when you resize, you're still going to get some kind of problem. But nevertheless, you can still make use of this. What I want to do is just to change the shape, like I can say the geometry of this to match what we are doing. But you can see enter, you can enter what we want, and when we hit or calculate, we want something to be displayed on the screen. So since we have done with that, I've done with the entry, let me just put something like this. So you know we're trying to enter something here. And then next what we're going to do is to, and this label is not actually the best way. So we can come here and say enter underscore in a variable. And then I can say enter. Let me just drag this grid down here. So I think with this, we're done with the calculator we want to we'll be trying to build. What is actually on here? These guys, they're not really much to explain here. We are going to import every method and class in this of our Tkinter. We initialize the Tkinter. We give it a title, geometry, which is the size, and then we'll configure the background to be blue. Label, which is basic calculator, and then we set it in row 0 and that of color 3. Let's also change this. Let's try saying, let me give it, come on. You can see label 1, and we'll call this label 1. This is actually the best way to do it rather than doing it directly. So this label 1 is going to display to us basic calculator, and then M2, this is the function that we wrote. So move this is of no use. So what is going to happen there when we hit this command is going to execute this function. What this function is to get the entry that we entered. Talking about this entry, it's going to get everything that we entered there, and it's going to evaluate it. So and we specifically set it on row 3 and column 3. So let's hit the play button. So this is what we get. Let me extend this. So enter an expression. So I can say 1 plus 2. When I hit enter, I can see I got 3. So I can also make it to be maybe something like, I want kind of a test to be outputted here, because when we run this, we are solely just getting the output to be displayed on the screen. So I want us to also get the, maybe write something like result is something that will make it look a little bit good. So I can come here and make an S string and to S string. I've talked about what S string is, so not really much on that of S string. So I can come here and say result. I put this kind of so signify that I want the result. So what's going to happen? We are going to get kind of a test. It's going to say result is going to be this guy that we wrote here. So if I run this, okay, let me drag this guy, or let me extend this to look good in the eye. Even though we are currently not trying to beautify anything, we're not just beautifying it, I just want us to understand what is actually going on here. So when I put something like 1 plus 3, 2 plus 3 plus 4 or so, and then I hit calculate, you can see result equals to 10. So if I hit 10 again, if I have to add something like 40 and hit calculate, you can see I got 46. I enter with something like 1, 2, 3, which is, I know the answer is 6. You can see result equals to 6. You can see how basically this is how to build just a simple calculator. We didn't do any design here. We didn't do any much thing here. I can also decide to just maybe put something like this tab here, which is tab T. So the title or this thing will make sense in the so let me try adjusting this a little bit. So you can see the title here thing to make sense. The enter is supposed to be somewhere here, but due to some other things. And like I said, we're not trying to beautify this. I just want to understand the logic on how these things work. When we input something here, the eval is going to help us to calculate, and it's going to be displayed by that of the label and beneath under here. So if I was to say 1 divided by 4 plus 5, let's say minus 6 times 8, anything, and I hit calculate, it's going to get the result minus 42.75. Can see this eval does tend to help us to do all these things. So in our next video, we're going to basically do a kind of a Facebook login whereby we can log into Facebook. Like I said, when I did introduction, when I did a project on how to log into Facebook, it was just a test-based kind of login into Facebook. So in our next video, we're going to do something like that, but it's going to be in this GUI format. So I think this should be it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'll be happy to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.